Hello, everybody. I am Brande Roderick. You may know me from a little show, although you guys might not know me because you guys are so young, but from a little show called Baywatch. You may know me from the film Starsky and Hutch with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, The Celebrity Apprentice, All-Star Celebrity Apprentice as well, The Surreal Life, a lot of fun things I've got a chance to do in my career.
Do you have I mean, I know you probably can't say, but do you have a favorite that was this was the best thing ever?
Well, Baywatch was the best job ever, hands down, 100%, because by the time it came to me, we were in the 10th and 11th season, and we shot in Hawaii. So I got to live in Hawaii and frolic around in the ocean in Hawaii and
Paradise.
enjoy, with Jason Momoa, enjoying life with Aquaman.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds like such a big sacrifice that you had to make. So
Yeah, right.
It was rough.
no,
It was
absolutely.
rough.
I loved watching Baywatch growing up. It was such a classic. I absolutely loved Baywatch. Yeah, being able to be with Jason Momoa, but we're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about because you directed, produced, and starred in Wineville, which we were absolutely so honored to get a screener of. We just recently watched it, and our minds are blown. Absolutely. We cannot wait to dive into this. So I'm going to let Brian take over here because he really has some good questions for you.
So I was the first one to watch, and I was just messaging them constantly. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, oh my God, are you guys watching it yet? Come on.
Yeah.
First of all, I have a question. What is the time period or because to me obviously it looks 70s.
Yeah.
But it's never technically said, right?
Okay, so it was based in 1978, but the way that you have to figure it out is because it talks about in the very beginning when I'm driving the car and the radio's on. It has the DJ saying, "Hey guys, gas prices are 30 cents, whatever, and President Nixon is going into blah." So it kind of gives the current events of that time.
Okay.
So we didn't want it to be posting 1978. Wanted to get a little creative. So on the radio, the guy's talking about current events in 1978. So unless you're really listening and paying attention, or if you're maybe younger and might not know what he's talking about, then maybe but that can slip by for sure. But yeah, it was 1978.
I was watching like a hawk to see just how detailed you guys made everything, from the appliances to the vehicles to the clothes. I mean, even just the way you talk, you know what I mean? You can't use mannerisms of today. So it's I was just I was really just let's see. And I gotta say, flawless. You did. It was, I loved it.
Well, I'm so
absolutely.
glad
Now
you say that and you didn't catch on to anything, because that was huge. Everyone I talked to about doing a period piece, all my, very experienced producers and directors, you have to be really careful about everything that you see that would be current. For example, one of the shots, we were going up the stairs to Tessa's bedroom, and there was a modern thermostat. So we had to make sure we covered that. There was also another shot where there was a modern, which you wouldn't think they had modern ones, a modern fire extinguisher. So we had to digitally take that out in post because we caught it on camera. So there's all that kind of stuff. So I was hoping I caught everything. So I'm glad you didn't notice anything, because I really tried.
I was really watching. You did excellent. I was actually, that was one of the things that I wanted to commend, and one of the things I liked about it so much is I could tell you guys care, because you literally made sure everything was. And I was looking everywhere. It was so well done. And I had another question.
Yes.
So first of all, this is your directorial debut?
Yes.
So you directed and obviously starred in. Do you find directing easier, harder, or acting? Do you like one side more? Was it hard to do both at the same time?
I love it all. And yes, it was very hard to do everything, because also I'm the producer. the main producer, so I'm the one running around. I was running around doing everything and had to put out every fire. So I was dealing with everything on top of, trying to, do my lines and, the whole thing, then get right into character. But the thing that made it easy for me is we created a character that is much like myself, in the sense I already knew I wanted to create a character that was a fighter that would fight and do anything for her son. And as you may or may not know, the little boy in the film is my real son in real life. So that when time came to do the scenes, it was all very real and it was conversational, and it's like the way that I would talk with my real son. So it's not like I had to go dig deep, because that would have been really hard if I had to like dig deep into a character doing something crazy and try to direct and try to produce. So it was a little strategic by creating a character that's very much like similar to myself and my relationship with my kid, so that it just flowed and it was easy and conversational.
Yeah, it's perfect because of the genuity, because you're so genuine about it. It just translates well. It's because you're not acting. You're really like worried
Right.
and you really love this kid,
Yeah.
We actually were talking about how he played his role so well, and how, like you're saying, the vibes between you guys were so natural. So I did not know that you're just your son, and that just makes so much perfect sense with that. It was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about that the character, obviously means a lot to you because she's a fighter. She went through so much, and she would do anything to protect her son. What was the inspiration behind Wineville? Because you guys we did a little research, and there's the chicken coop murders that you guys referenced. Was that kind of the basis of this, or how did you come about with such a wonderful storyline that was so original, actually, in my mind?
Well, it actually really started with the location. So my really good friend, Dominic, is the owner of the winery, and he said that I could shoot my movie there. So Richard and I, the writer, Richard Shankman, who's amazing, who's done so many great films, he and I went out there and just walked the property and looked at everything, and we knew the story of the chicken coop murders, which was like right out on the same street as the winery, right down the street. It was literally right there.
Wow.
And I love the movie The Changelings. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's a true story. So there was all of that, but I wanted to create a movie that, a mom will do anything to protect her son. Plus, I'm really demented and sick in the head. So I knew I wanted to do definitely like a serial killer vibe, and it had to be a serial killer family, and I wanted it to be in this, something very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, the story just kind of developed between Richard and I, going back and forth, and it just got sicker and sicker and sicker, as you know, because you saw it. But I wanted to just shock people, and I wanted to push the envelope, and I wanted to have lots of plot twists. I wanted to keep people guessing and be shocked and surprised at more turns than just one, especially the one at the end.
Well, perfect. We were talking about it on the way here. We loved the pacing of the movie, the way you kind of think like, okay, maybe it's just going to be a slasher. How is it going to go? And then your brain automatically is trying to find movies that it's like. It tries to connect, and so you're like, oh, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like this. But the way you do it is you escalate things, and then it just gets more sick, and then it's like, oh.
Right.
And it's like you really take it to like very dark. Like I was just like, hey, trigger warning, there's some stuff in here. It's getting pretty intense. I'm just letting you guys know. But I just thought like it was extremely like just impactful. Like it was very you feel it. It hits everything, and even the kills. I was blown away. I was like, wow, you guys have really good effects. And like, it was brutal. Like there was some vicious moments. I think you guys captured that really, really well. And that is really hard to do.
It is. And as far as like you were saying with the kills, we had an amazing practical effects team, and they've done like huge blockbuster films. So we were lucky enough to get him, because I met him 15, 16 years ago on the horror film I did called Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. And he did that film. So I called in a favor, and now since then he's like blown up. But I called him in, and he came in to do the film for me.
Oh,
So
that's
I was really
awesome.
excited that he did it. So that's why the practical effects are so good. Yeah.
Now, Brian mentions like, there are some trigger warnings in here. There's definitely some heavy themes. Why is it important, do you think, to kind of show these things, but showing that, it didn't like minimize who she was as a person, and she still was able to be successful. She still was able to be a strong woman, be like a wonderful mother. Was that something that you had in your mind to be like shown purposefully? Was that something that you thought about while you were like directing this film and producing it?
I think that just with trauma, right, with children or teenagers, trauma can take you in one or two ways. It can either make you a strong, badass bitch survivor, or it can make you really weak and go down a really wrong path. So it was one or two ways. So in order for this film to be right, you have to be the badass bitch that went through it and came out stronger. And I would like to think and hope that most people would, but so I think that's why we took that path, and you needed to have that type of woman and character to really get through that, and and be able to come
And it's perfect because, like you said, yeah, it's like it's your son, so it's like that dynamic is already there. It's natural. It's awesome. Yeah, and also tell him I was blown away. I thought he was like really, really, really good. Usually kid actors, I'm like, nah. But I was like, wow. Like, he was actually really good, especially in the scene when he was being dragged off the couch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was looking and I was like, ooh, that probably hurt. And he didn't even like flinch. And I was like, wow, he's good at playing dead. Like,
right. Well,
really, really well done.
He's tough, and he's like bumping over the wood, and he's a tough kid. Definitely.
Now, Wineville just hit streaming. Where can people learn more about it? Where can they watch it? And then also, too, is there anything, is there a Wineville 2 in the works
Any
happening?
plans?
Any future?
Can you toss us something?
Well, I mean, if they'll let me come back and shoot at the winery again, but I don't know if they want us back. I mean, it was 2 weeks of hell for them. They might, because they're they're really good friends of mine. But I think it would be more fun to do a prequel than to do a sequel in this case. To kind of go back to why Edmund was so sick and started. He was obviously the start of the the serial killer family.
Right.
So I think that could be kind of a fun, I don't know, doing something like that, where it goes back in time as opposed to the future. Or both, you never know. You never know.
Right.
That's why you're the director, not me.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
You could do all kinds of fun stuff. But people can see it everywhere that you normally stream and rent movies. Amazon, Apple, Google Play, all your cable network providers. So yeah, and definitely, of course, Prime Video, Amazon, everyone's going to. And then
and I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, we're on a little bit of a lag here for anyone who's watching. I don't mean to keep on interrupting you, but I have to ask you, okay, so this winery, is it visitable? Can people actually go see where you filmed Wineville, or is it a private winery that people are not encouraged to go visit?
No, you definitely can. It's called the Galliano Winery, and it's in Mira Loma, California, which used to be called Wineville, California, but now it's Mira Loma. And it is the oldest, one of the oldest, if not the oldest winery in Southern California, which makes it really exciting. And, everything there, like we said, it really was from the early 1900s, like all of the equipment from the 20s to the 50s to the 70s, all the old buildings, all that whole place was built in the early 1900s. So it's really cool. And it's actually a really killer, fun, beautiful winery to go to.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
It was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And we just absolutely love this movie. We really appreciate you letting us be able to view it. How has the reception been so far from people who have been looking at it? Because like we said, we really enjoyed the details. It was shot beautifully. The graphics were amazing. Even I love the hair and the makeup. I was obsessed with your hair and makeup throughout the movie. It was absolutely gorgeous. What has the reception been from people so far? I know it just hit streaming just a little bit ago, but it seems to have had a really good reception from those who have watched it.
It's been really great, and it's been really exciting to hear people's reaction like you guys. And the one thing that's been really fun for me is when people are done, they're like, holy shit, I was not expecting that. Like it's
Yep.
the twist at the end, people are shocked about. And I'm just so glad that people aren't figuring it out throughout the movie and that it really is a shocker. So that's one thing that I'm loving hearing all the time. And then something fun that I've been doing through social media is a couple things actually. When people go and they go to watch the movie and they grab a glass of wine, take a picture with themselves watching the movie, I am retagging that photo. So they tag us and then we show the photo for them. And then another fun thing we did, if people DM me their review, if they rate and review it, then I do a shout out on my social media to that person. So it just kind of helps.
I just saw your story on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. So it helps, build up other people's Instagrams if they want, or something by shouting them out. So I'm just doing fun things like in exchange, for people watching the movie.
So speaking of Instagram, do you have other social media? Like what are you on all the time that people can follow you on?
So for me, it's Brande Roderick, my name. It's, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Brande Roderick TV. And then Wineville Movie has all the same ones. Wineville Movie is on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So, and there's also winevillemovie.com if you want an autographed DVD. So the cover of the DVD is myself and my son, and we both autograph it. So you can get those on winevillemovie.com.
Oh, cool.
And that has all
That's
the
awesome.
behind the scenes stuff. We have the actor auditions. We have the character interviews and all this fun, like behind the scenes stuff in the DVD, which is cool.
That is so fun. And did I hear you slip in the fact that, did you guys film this whole movie in just 2 weeks?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. That was stressful.
Incredible.
And
what was that process like?
Well, it was crazy. It was 12, what do we do? 10 to 12 hour days. I think they were 12-hour days.
Oh.
6 days a week. But do you guys get like filmmakers and stuff that go on and watch your show as well? Like indie horror film, people that are trying to
Yeah, here and there.
Well, the one thing I will say to any new filmmaker, do not wait until the last day to do the most important scene. Because we did the last scene in the movie, because you saw it. But we did that on the last day, and we were trying to get it done before the sun was coming up. So we were like fighting the sun, and we had been up for 24 hours, and we were all like zombies doing that last scene. We're like, hurry! And it was our last day there, so we had to get it done. We did it, obviously, but man, that was stressful. So do that more towards the beginning of your shoot if your most important scene. Don't wait till the last day. Save the crappy scenes for last.
Well, you could argue though that the sleep deprivation and added stress probably made it even look more panicked and stressful. So once again,
for the actors, yeah.
But unfortunately for you, you're
Right.
like, I have to direct all these people and I have to act. Like, oh my gosh.
Yes, I have to get this done. It has to be done. Yeah, no, but it was awesome. It was great. Yeah, but we got it done in the 2 weeks. So, yeah.
Oh my,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Now, is there anything that you want audiences to know that we haven't covered, or once again, to just remind everyone where they can go stream it, how they can interact? I really love that social media piece. That is such beautiful marketing, like grassroots marketing. Social media is so incredible, especially with independent films, to be able to get the word out. So just kind of give us a little overview before we head on out.
I think the best place, if people have Amazon, go stream it on Amazon or Apple. And then, please rate and review, because you have to have so many reviews before you even get on Rotten Tomatoes. You need like 50 reviews. So I'd appreciate, any review. And I'm just so excited for people to see the film and to be shocked. And, people that love horror, I hope are going to love this film. Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for sharing it with us and allowing us to see it and talk about it. We were just like really honored that you wanted to be a part of this, and so thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Last thing, how did you find us?
Well, I found you on YouTube. because I was researching horror enthusiast podcasts, and you guys came up. So you should be proud of that you guys, were one of the higher ranked horror podcasts. So
Yeah.
I think
our off-screen marketing guy is losing his shit right now. So he's like screaming. So awesome. I had to know, but that's awesome. So thank you so much for giving us your time. And hopefully if you have a sequel or maybe another movie coming, just send it our way and we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Brande. Best of luck. And we will make sure that we will, even though we didn't stream it on Amazon, we'll stream it on Amazon as well and leave reviews, because I totally get you.
Yes.
That is what it's all about with that. So we'll make sure, and we'll encourage our viewers to as well. So thank you again. Congratulations on absolutely amazing film. Oh my goodness. Like you are just a jack of all trades to be able to do all of that and create such a successful film.
Well, thank you guys. Have a great night.